Finally, new stimulus checks worth up to $500 will begin going out to low-income households in just a few weeks. Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi are now under pressure to increase monthly benefits for all current recipients, everybody. And now the Democrats are changing the price tag of the next fourth stimulus package, so you want to be sure to continue watching this video to never miss out on the most important stimulus check information. Missouri residents who file income taxes would be eligible for a $500 tax credit under a new Republican proposal the Democrats are currently negotiating. The proposal by the Republican House budget leader would set aside $1 billion in state funding for the tax credits. Married couples filing jointly would get under $1,000, and top House Republicans said passing the tax breaks would be the main priority as lawmakers near their deadline to finalize the legislation. Nancy Pelosi and top Democratic House speakers said in a statement that Republicans do not support the idea of spending every available dollar to increase the size of the government, but instead believe that individual people in Missouri are the best decision makers for how to spend their tax dollars. Now, a few House Democrats criticized the measure as a tax break that wouldn't help the state's poorest people in the state of Missouri. Democrats had proposed setting aside $100 million to give $1,000 checks to poor families who have struggled with housing or food insecurity. Republicans voted that measure down, and St. Louis Democratic representative said the Republican proposal is similar to his previous pitch for stimulus checks, but has the inverse impact. The representative said that Missourians know the difference between a stimulus check and a tax break, so House Republicans should be ashamed of this proposal. Do you agree with the Republicans or the Democrats on this? President Biden and congressional Democrats are facing pressure to boost federal crisis-related unemployment benefits for millions of people as the crisis continues to surge and job growth slows. There have been a total of 3 federal jobs aid programs. The programs that were first put in place by the former president's administration lapsed months ago. At the time, an estimated 7.5 million unemployed workers lost their extra jobless benefits. According to estimates from the Century Foundation, an additional 3 million people stopped receiving a $300 weekly boost to unemployment benefits that are provided by their state. Economists and advocates are pushing Democrats and Republicans to pass legislation that will boost unemployment benefits. On May 2nd, NBC News reported that Republican lawmakers in the state of Iowa voted to reduce the number of weeks that jobless people can receive unemployment benefits from 26 to 16 weeks. Also, the legislation will force those receiving benefits to settle for lower paying jobs quickly instead of being allowed to take the time to pursue work that pays the least, as well as their previous positions. Now, new legislation has been proposed that would affect many Americans financially, and states are looking into tax cuts to see what can be done on this. Here is some important news. A growing number of states are taking steps to temporarily cut taxes in hopes of providing some relief for Americans. Not only that, folks, but listen to this. California, Delaware, Georgia, Florida, and Idaho, among many other states, have proposed or already passed legislation. These laws are intended to put more money into taxpayers' pockets as a way of offsetting consumer prices. And according to the Tax Foundation, overall there are some 36 states enacting or considering a form of tax relief. In New Mexico, lawmakers sent most taxpayers $1,000 to help with rising gas grocery prices.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, I'm the author of the Brady Law, as you know, passed it in 1994 when I was a House member, and I care very, very deeply about this issue. Obviously, we want to get something done to stop gun violence. There are a number of discussions going on. Some are bipartisan, some are in our own caucus, and we're going to work towards what we can actually get done. New. I wish they had drawn different maps. I don't approve of the maps that were drawn. The situation within the delegation is fluid, so I'm not going to comment on that. Yes, no, I promised I would. Yes. Yes, well, 2 of the issues we're working on, we're making good progress on an insulin bill that would keep the cost of insulin at $35, but it goes broader. Senator Shaheen and Senator Collins are working on a bipartisan bill that would deal with some of the underlying causes as well, dealing with the intermediaries. We're working obviously on the USICA bill. We had a very good conference. I think 90% of the thousands of conferees showed up and spoke, and we're making good progress on that as well, which deals a great deal with costs. Yes?
Last time we were together, we were at a university, 2000
Yeah, Yonsei University, 2013.
2013. He showed me a picture. I didn't have a lot more hair then either. It's great to be here to announce the more than $10 billion in new investment in American manufacturing. This new commitment of $5 billion for advanced automotive technology and $5.5 billion investment to open a new factory near Savannah, Georgia, is going to create more than 8,000 new American jobs. The plan is to break ground as soon as January of 2023. And the new facility should be rolling out the latest electric vehicles and batteries to power them by 2025. And the workers in Georgia who will build these plants and manufacture this new electric battery technology means economic opportunity for an awful lot of Americans. And I want to commend my friends and the two senators in Georgia, Raphael Warnock and John Ossoff, for how they've been fighting for Georgia to be a magnet for this clean energy investment. And these investments are part of a trend in my administration. Manufacturing jobs are coming back to America. Even before these investments, my administration, since coming to office, created 545,000 new manufacturing jobs since we took office. And thanks to Hyundai, we are being part of this transformative automobile sector and accelerating us on the road where we're going to be handling to the United States an all-electric future. And that's what we're shooting for. Our administration is setting ambitious standards to cut pollution in cars and trucks and boost fuel economy standards for those continuing to operate on gasoline. And last year, standing together with the CEOs of major American manufacturers, along with the CEO and the head of the United Auto Workers, I signed an executive order setting a goal of having 50% of all new vehicles sold by the year 2030 to be electric, and it's an ambitious target, I know, but I believe we can meet it. But we're all committed to making it happen. Auto companies, American UAW, and the federal government as well, because all understand the same basic thing. Electric vehicles are good for our climate goals, but they're also good for jobs, and they're good for business. Hyundai and any company investing in the United States would benefit greatly from entering into partnerships with some of the most highly skilled, dedicated, and engaged workers in the world, anywhere you can find, and that is American union members. And again, every venture to manufacture electric vehicles